People who have healthcare advance directives in place have far better health outcomes than those who don't. Now, what is a healthcare advance directive? That's the subject that we're going to talk about today. My name is Tamara Kushnir Groman, and I'm the manager of the Irving H and Jane W. Goldberg Legal Services at CJE. Today, I'm going to be talking about the healthcare power of attorney form for the state of Illinois and the living will, which is sometimes called a medical directive. Now, these forms are far easier than anyone thinks they're going to be. Thinking about and talking about healthcare decisions is much harder than actually filling out this form. We have tools for both filling out the form and for having the hard discussions at Goldberg Legal Services. Today, we're going to focus on the forms. Now, for starters, there's lots of ways to get these forms. One of the ways is on our CJE website, and another way to get the form, and the copy that you're going to be seeing during this video, is from the Illinois Department of Public Health. The form starts, simply enough, by including your name and your address. It's also a good idea to include your phone number. The next big question that's going to be addressed on the form is who should be your agent? It is your agent's job to make healthcare decisions for you if you are unable to make them for yourself. Who should be your healthcare agent? This is the biggest question that you need to answer for yourself. Now, your healthcare agent should be someone who knows you well and who knows your healthcare wishes. Now, it could be a spouse. It could be an adult child over the age of 18. It could be a friend, a neighbor. It doesn't have to be a family member. Sometimes it's actually better if it's not a family member, because if a family member has to make a decision that might involve life or death, they might not want to make that decision for you. So think about who's in the best position to do that. Maybe you have a family member or a good friend who is a healthcare professional. So long as that person is not your healthcare professional, the agent cannot be your physician, nurse, nurse practitioner, or anyone connected to your medical practice. If, for example, you have an adult child who is a doctor or nurse, they are welcome to be your agent in this form. A common question we get is whether your agent needs to live nearby. And that's really a question that you need to answer with your agent. These days, with so much done via telehealth and telephone, it's possible that your agent could serve you well, even if they don't live nearby, and that's a discussion you can have with them. The next section of the Power of Attorney form explains the broad nature of the form and lists 4 big areas that your agent can do for you. For example, the first one says that your agent can decide to accept, withdraw, or decline treatment. Number 2, your agent can agree to admit you or discharge you from a hospital. Number 3, your agent will have complete access to both medical and mental health records. And number 4 discusses disposition of remains, what you want to happen to your body after you die. Now, normally a power of attorney is only valid during your lifetime. The one exception is your disposition of your remains. So it's important that your agent know whether you wish to be buried or cremated or donate your body to science. If we do these documents directly in our office, we can include that personalized information in the form directly. The next section discusses the timing. When do you want this document to become effective? There are 3 options. The first statement says, make decisions for me only when I cannot make them for myself, and the physicians taking care of me will decide when I lack this ability. That is a most obvious answer, but the other 2 answers may be better suited. The second statement actually starts with the exact same first two sentences. Make decisions for me only when I cannot make them for myself. The physicians taking care of me will decide when I lack this ability. However, it adds several sentences which are a HIPAA release. So that means your agent, starting at the time of signing, if you check this box, will have access to your health records starting now. They won't be able to make decisions on your behalf, but they will be able to review any medical documentation that you have and talk to doctors with you. The third option is sometimes the most confusing. It states, make decisions for me starting now and continue after I'm no longer able to make them. While I'm still able to make my own decisions, I can do so if I want to. So why would someone choose option number 3? Well, the person who you are choosing to be your healthcare agent is trustworthy to you. You're only choosing someone who's going to act in your best interest. So there's no reason not to allow that person to be involved starting now. If you choose the first two options, there is a delay when the person can start acting as your agent. There must first be a determination that you can't make decisions for yourself. So it is common and often preferable to choose the third option so that your agent can step in as soon as they see any type of need that you might have. The next section of the document talks about life-sustaining treatments. Life-sustaining treatments include things like fluids through a tube, breathing machines, and CPR. Now, the document, as it stands right now, only gives you 2 options for what your wishes are for end of life. The first option focuses on the quality of life. It states that the quality of my life is more important than the length of my life. And if I should have an incurable disease and I am unconscious and my attending physician believes I won't wake up, then all I want is comfort-focused care. The second option states, staying alive is more important to me. No matter how sick I am or how much pain I'm in or what the cost of procedures are, I want to be kept alive. Now, checking one of these boxes is optional, but is strongly recommended. By checking one of these boxes, you are giving your agent indication of what it is that is most important to you. And if your agent needs to make such a difficult decision, you have given them sort of the strength to make the decision that really is what you want. The next section is about specific limitations to my agent's decision-making authority. This section allows you to list a medical procedure that you would never want, no matter what. For example, if you were at high risk for an amputation and you absolutely would prefer comfort care rather than an amputation, then we would list that item here. The vast majority of people do not have anything so specific to list here. Most people would prefer to leave the option to their agent and their medical team to decide what's in their best interest. The remainder of the document involves simply a signature, a date, and a witness signature. Now, the witness does not need to read through the form or know what your choices are. The witness is simply witnessing that you are the person who signed this document. The final page of this form allows you to list a successor agent. If your first agent is unwilling or unavailable to serve, then your secondary agent could step in. I'm often asked if you can list co-agents. I would like my son and daughter to both be listed together. We do not list co-agents in these forms because if we have 2 agents, then they can disagree. And our goal is to have an ultimate decision maker in this form, because if agents disagree, then you can end up in guardianship court about who is the ultimate decision maker. The second form we're going to discuss today is the living will declaration. The living will declaration is a single paragraph. If you are a person who indicated that the quality of your life is more important than the length of your life, then the living will declaration is an additional document that you should fill out. Now, if you already stated it in your power of attorney form, why would you say it again here? And the answer is because your power of attorney form gave information and guidance to your agent. The living will document gives guidance to your physicians and your medical team. The living will document, again, is a form document. At the top, you'll list your name and your date of birth. And the form states, if I should have an incurable and irreversible injury, disease, or illness judged to be terminal by my attending physician who has examined me. It's a very specific case of a person who is truly at the end of life. And it states that all I want is comfort care, and I do not want death-delaying measures. Now, some people ask, is this a DNR? Is this a do not resuscitate order? It is not. A DNR would be an order stating if I show up in the ER today, I don't want CPR. However, a living will simply states if at some point in the future I am in this state, then I want comfort care. However, if tomorrow I ended up in having an illness and in the emergency room, and it was thought that I could be cured or healed, I would want to be cured or healed. Now, filling out these forms is the easy part. Thinking about and discussing these forms with family members or loved ones can be challenging. Having the forms alone without the discussion is only getting you halfway there. Once you've completed these forms, it's important that you keep these forms somewhere accessible in your house or apartment. It's important to give copies of both the power of attorney for healthcare and the living will to your medical team and to your agent. I recommend creating a binder or a folder where you can keep all of your important documents together in the event your agent needed to find them. At your next medical appointment, you can bring them to your doctor's office, and most likely they'll scan them and make them part of your medical record. Keep in mind that once you sign these forms, they are valid going forward. If you are asked at a later time, if you have such a document, answer yes so that they don't give you a new form which will invalidate the old form. If you would like assistance from CJE and Goldberg Legal Services in filling out these forms and exploring more about having conversations with your loved ones about advanced care planning, please call us. Please call CJE at 773-508-1000 and make an appointment with our skilled intake team, and I'd love to meet with you.